I didn't expect to survive the crash. Most of us didn't. The impact had shredded the hull of our warbird, sending plasma and bone in every direction. I crawled from the wreckage with one arm shattered and my vision flickering in red pulses. My wings, biosynthetic and fused with my nervous system, were ruined, torn and smoking. I was alone, stranded on a primitive, backwater world I only knew from intelligence briefings. Earth. The last words I heard through my comms before it fizzled were, "Tarkala, abort. Do not engage. Fall back to orbit." But it was too late. I was already falling. I was Tarkala of the Kirit Dominion, known across the Orion cluster as the Ember Wraith. Feared, hunted, celebrated. I was a ghost on the battlefield, an elite hybrid bred for precision, destruction, and survival. I had carved through colonies, shredded entire militia units, and brought moons to heal for the Dominion. Children whisper my name like a curse. And now, I was half buried in mud, bleeding into the roots of an alien forest, breathing air thick with pollen and the stench of decay. My kill counter meant nothing here. I must have blacked out, because when I came to, I wasn't alone. He was there, a human, slender, covered in worn survival gear. He looked soft, fragile, unarmored, brown eyes like storm-warmed lakes, hair tied back, a knife on his hip that seemed more ceremonial than practical. I would have killed him instantly if I could move. Instead, he said something in their language, calm, melodic, cautious. I didn't know the words, but I recognized the tone. Kindness. I hissed, baring my fangs. He didn't flinch. Instead, he crouched beside me, holding his hands up unarmed. Then, he did something I never expected. He smiled. Over the next few hours, he carried me to a nearby shelter. Something he cobbled together from scrap metal, tarps, and ancient Dominion tech that must have fallen during the first skirmishes of the war. It wasn't much, but it was warm. He tended to my wounds with surprising skill. Alien biology didn't faze him. He stabilized my arm, covered my wing membranes, and after my fever broke, he offered me water. It took 3 days before I said my first words to him. Tarkala, I rasped, pointing at my chest. My name. He blinked. Then, smiling wider, he replied, Name's Eli. I watched him from my corner of the shelter. Eli didn't pry. He didn't interrogate me or ask about the Dominion. He spent his time scavenging, boiling roots, singing quietly to himself in that same strange tongue. Every part of me screamed this was a trick, a trap, a psychological tactic. Yet, he never touched a weapon, never raised his voice. One night, after a quiet meal, he said something in his language. I didn't understand, but I caught the word he used for me. Girl. I growled, correcting him with a sharp tone. Warrior. He laughed, and I hated that I liked the sound. It wasn't long before the patrols came. Dominion drones, sniffing to the forest, looking for survivors or deserters. Eli had spotted one and rushed into the shelter, breathless. He pointed to the tree lean, mimicked the whirring sound, then drew a symbol in the dirt, a Dominion glyph. An old one. I stared at it, stunned. You speak our language? He hesitated. A little. I narrowed my eyes. You're not just some forager. He looked at me, face unreadable. I used to be a xenolinguist. Before the war. That changed everything. That night, he asked me a question no one ever had. Do you want to go back? I didn't answer. He nodded, as if he understood the silence more than any word I could have said. Eli didn't ask again. The next attack came fast. 3 Dominion exotroopers. Massive, armored, brutal. They didn't expect me to fight. They didn't expect her to still be alive. I moved like fire through dry wood, faster than my broken body should have allowed. I shattered one's faceplate with a spinning wing blade, gutted another through his neck seal. The third fled. I didn't chase. Eli watched it all from a distance. He didn't cheer. He didn't flinch. He just stared, like he was seeing me for the first time. The blood on my claws dripped quietly between us. I've killed thousands, I said, when the silence became unbearable. Eli sat down beside me. Do you regret it? No, he didn't move, but I'm tired. That made him close his eyes, like something inside him cracked. I've lost people, he whispered. So many I stopped counting. I looked at him. So, why help me? He turned his head, slowly. Because when I found you, you looked like someone who wasn't ready to die. Just lost. Days passed. We said little, but the silence changed. It wasn't cold anymore. It was comfortable. I began helping with repairs, with scavenging, with defense. We trained together. He was agile, smart, good with traps. I taught him Dominion Sign Language. He taught me how to make soup out of tree fungus and bone ash. And one morning, as we tracked a rogue drone together, he reached out to steady me on the ice. Our fingers brushed. We froze, but I didn't pull away. Later that night, around the fire, he asked, "What would it take for you to walk away from all this?" I stared into the flame. "A reason." He looked into my eyes. "Then maybe I'll give you one." Weeks turned into months. My wounds healed. My heart, once a tool of war, began to feel again. I wasn't just the Ember Wraith anymore. I was Tarkala, the warrior who stayed, because of him. But nothing stays hidden forever. A Dominion High Priestess arrived in orbit. I saw the storm cloud split as her ship descended. She was here for me. Return. Her message buzzed to the old Dominion beacon, or we will burn this world. Eli didn't tell me what to do. He just waited. I walked into the woods for a day and a night. And when I returned, I said only one thing. "I'm not going back." He smiled, then said two words I never expected. "Welcome home." We destroyed the beacon together. We melted it into slag and scattered the pieces. The Dominion would come eventually, but by then we'd be long gone. He had a map of hidden planets, places even the Dominion wouldn't bother searching. We weren't running. We were starting over. I was Tarkala, once the most feared warrior in the galaxy. Now I am Tarkala, partner to a human who saw through my scars and built a life in the silence between stars. And when he took my hand, the war ended.